And they also teach in Brazil. I'm not completely sure how Spanish speakers teach in Portugal speaking Brazil, but they do, which is amazing. And we've got Kim, hi all from wet and windy Birchington on Sea. Shakachada, hello from dark, rainy Manchester. Yes, this is not giving a good advertisement for English weather for any of those of you who are not in England. Oh, I can see you there, Ruth, and it looks like it might not be wet outside there in Brazil and Sao Paulo. Oh, it is actually raining. It's rain everywhere. Maybe I brought it with me. Hope not. Mind you, for me, it's been kind of exciting rain today. It's not just been horrible, drizzly, but it's had a bit of life to it, which has been fun. And we've got Jeff and Vaughn. Hi, Vijamala. It has been wet and gloomy in Nosal, Staffordshire. Good. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes in case anyone else comes in. Just 1 minute past the hour. So as I was saying before, if we'll be doing a meditation for probably 20-25 minutes. So if you just check that you've got what you need to be as comfortable as possible. So if you're sitting, that you've got a chair that's ideally upright, but if you're not able to sit in an upright chair, that's fine. Just checking that you've got the right chair for the practice. If you're lying down, checking that you've got the pillow or a cushion where your head will be supported without tipping back or being pushed forward. And we all might want blankets now that it's getting colder here in the UK, those of us who are in the UK. And we've got Marissa saying hi from the Netherlands. And we've got Carolyn, hi from wet Donegal. Yes, and I think it's going to get even wetter there. Just looked at the weather forecast and it doesn't look great for Ireland. Okay, so let's begin the session now. Yeah, I was trying to decide what to do a little while ago, and actually I've not been well today, so I've spent quite a lot of the day in my bed resting, but I'm feeling a bit better now. So I was having this feeling of wanting to do quite a tender practice tonight, calming and connecting. Let me just close the chat box so I'm not distracted here. Something calming and connecting. So that's what we'll do. We'll do I had this phrase today, going in to go out. I think that's quite interesting, going in to go out. So in meditation, we draw our awareness inwards, but the ultimate purpose of that is to be able to connect with others. So going inwards isn't an end in itself where we become, separate and reclusive and protective, but it's more we go in to rest and settle and soften and become more whole. So we invite in everything, discomfort, pleasure, thoughts, emotions. We allow everything in, and we sort of settle with being whole rather than pushing and pulling, which is what we usually do. And then from that place of greater inclusivity, greater integration, we bring kindliness. So we bring an attitude of care and kindliness towards everything that we find in that space. And then on the basis of that, we cultivate empathy, and we reflect that all these other beings are just like oneself. I can see 6 of you at the top of my screen at the moment. That all these other humans on this call, we're deep down, we're very, very alike. And this idea that somehow I'm completely separate from you is an illusion. It's something that I'm creating with my mind. So we obviously are separate. We're not a kind of soup. We have our own individuality, but ultimately we're very, very connected. And we're all going to leave this half hour different. We're all going to leave this half hour changed by being together and what we do together. And then, of course, we'll go off and we'll interact with other people, and they will be changed by their interaction. And so it rolls on. And if our interactions with others can come from a place of wholeness and kindness, then that's going to be good for the world. So I really love this, that meditation, this act of sitting still doing nothing, is ultimately good for the world. So I'll just lead this practice now. If you've not been to one of these sessions before, then a special welcome to you. And yeah, it's just the space we hold every Tuesday night for half an hour. And we've really been building community, which has been gorgeous, actually. We started doing these practices way back in March 2020 with the pandemic, and we've kept it up. And there's many familiar faces, people who've been coming really regularly that whole time. And at the end, we stay and have a little bit of sharing if you want to, or else you can just slip away. But yeah, really warm welcome to this space for everybody. And yeah, you don't need to remember anything that I've said because I'll lead the practice. So again, if you're here for the first time, you can just settle in and I'll lightly guide the practice through the next 20 minutes or so. Okay, so if we begin to settle, first of all, being very conscious about how we position the body and being quite fussy. I always think fussiness is good because so often we put up with discomfort that is avoidable just by getting a different cushion or a blanket or a different chair. So we set ourselves up to be as comfortable as possible. And beginning to settle into the position that we've chosen. Having a sense of the body resting down into the chair or into the bed or into the floor, depending on what position we've chosen. But very often we grip onto the body, lots of tension. And it can be interesting to rest into the support, the surface that's holding us, and gravity that's holding us close to the earth. See if we can yield into this rather than tensing against it. If you want to, you could take a deeper in-breath, and on the out-breath, release and let go. Let the next in-breath flow back in its own time. You could do that a few times if you like to, paying particular attention to the out-breath. So with each out-breath, we're arriving a little bit more in each present moment. We're letting go of the past, the future, arriving in the body and yielding into the support. And when you're ready, allowing your breathing to find its own natural rhythm. So letting go of deeper in-breaths or deeper out-breaths, and let your breathing settle into its own rhythm. But always with this quality of yielding and releasing, particularly with each out-breath, and arriving. And I've got just a line from the wonderful poet Rumi to evoke something for us. And he says, "Your heart is the size of the ocean. Go find yourself in its hidden depths." Your heart is the size of the ocean. Go find yourself in its hidden depths. So as we begin to arrive more fully, let's see if we can get a sense of our awareness pouring out of the head to fill the body. So having a broad sense of the whole body, first of all, resting here. If your body's uncomfortable or painful, seeing if you can very gently and tenderly include this experience in this broad body awareness. Breathing in and breathing out into these areas, releasing, letting go a little bit more. So beginning this journey of having this inclusive awareness, not shutting anything out, but we're welcoming everything into the space of awareness. Breath, pain, and also noticing areas of the body that maybe feel pleasant, warmth or tingling, softness perhaps. And let's tune into our emotional weather. This heart that's like the great ocean, able to hold everything. So let's let in our mood, our emotions. Maybe it's clear, or maybe we feel dull and confused. We don't know what we feel. That's also awareness. Maybe there's many different feelings and emotions. Relief at being here, softening, yielding, being. And maybe there's things like sorrow in the mix, or grief. Maybe there's joy and happiness and love, tenderness. Letting our heart be like the great ocean, our emotional life be like the great ocean. Very broad and deep. Different currents flowing through the ocean. So we've got awareness of the body, of resting inside the body. We've got awareness of our emotional experience, our emotional life. To some degree or another. And now let's turn to our thoughts. What kind of thoughts are flowing through the mind? Learning to look at our thoughts rather than from our thoughts. So relating to thoughts as mental events flowing through the mind. Meditation isn't about suppressing thinking, it's about becoming aware of thinking, being less tangled up in the content. If you find yourself getting swept away by a thought process, that's completely normal. It's what often happens. But as soon as we notice, oh, I've got swept away, then we're present, we're mindful, we're succeeding in the practice, and we can just invite our awareness back inside the field of the body, the heart, and the mind. Resting here, present moment by moment. So let's practice now resting in this whole experience of ourselves. Allowing our awareness to rest inside the body, inside the emotions, inside the mind. And seeing if we can allow our experience to be fluid and changing. This is the nature of experience, but very often we rigidify against it. We contract and tighten. Or maybe we chase after things. Let's see if we can rest inside the arising and passing of sensations in the body, emotions, thoughts, all taking place within this field of awareness, of self-awareness. And seeing if we can let the self-awareness be warm, curious, and kindly towards all of our experience. Perhaps responding to our experience the way we'd naturally respond to a loved one having this kind of experience. With patience, kindness, understanding, empathy. Now staying centered and grounded. Imagining the circumference of awareness expanding, growing. And we include a friend, somebody for whom we've got naturally positive feelings. Someone for whom the emotions are quite simple, perhaps not sexual, but a friend, one of our friends. And now let's allow our awareness to really include this person. Settling with them. Letting them into our awareness just as they are. Taking them in. If it works, you could imagine breathing gently with the friend. Taking in their humanity deep down, they're so very like oneself. Breathing in and out. Tend to contract against pain and to chase after pleasure. Pushing some things away and pulling some things towards us. Push me, pull you mind, where there's no rest. And like us, they'll have a longing to love and to be loved, to be fulfilled and happy. So let's wish them well. If it works on the in-breath, really drinking them in, drinking in their humanity with our awareness. And as we breathe out, imagining love and kindness, well-wishing, pouring towards them, filling them up. They too are a process, not a thing, a continual flow of sensations and emotions and thoughts flowing through the moments. Let's rest and that more fluid awareness together for a few moments. And checking in that we're not losing our sense of groundedness, centeredness. We're still in this whole sense of ourselves, body, emotions, thoughts, this field of awareness. If there's tension building in the body, then by all means moving a little bit. Checking that we're still yielding to the support beneath us. Now let's open our awareness to include everybody here on this call. There's 101 of us now, from many different places, many different circumstances. And yet here we all are, so very, very alike deep down. Breathing in and out, the flow of sensations, tendency to resist those that are painful, hold on to those that are pleasant, all the struggles that follow. We're all a whole ocean of emotions, some painful, some pleasant. We've got thoughts pouring through the mind that we tend to identify with, get tangled up with. And we're all here because we want to train to be free of those habits. We all long to love and be loved. In our imagination, let's all breathe together. Breathing in awareness of everyone, and on the out breath, allowing love and kindliness and well-wishing to pour out to all of us. So we're all bathed in this well-wishing. And seeing if we can let it in as well. You've got 100 people wishing you well right now. Can you let that in to your heart, your mind, your body? This field of awareness. Now let's allow this circumference of our awareness to expand to include everyone everywhere. So we're staying centered and grounded, but resting in the flow of life, the whole world breathing. And we can imagine the whole world being bathed in well-wishing and kindliness, connection, love even. All the beings and all the creatures. Now it's time to bring the practice to a close. So let's bring the weight of the body to the foreground of awareness. Yielding, resting. Being aware of this whole sense of ourselves, the body, emotions, thoughts, present to awareness. So staying aware of others, but it's as if the weight of our awareness is shifted back to ourselves as we come out of the practice. So grounded, centered. And when you're ready, you could bring a little bit of movement into the body, just whichever part of the body works for you. And seeing if we can keep our breathing soft, keeping things a bit more fluid feeling. And in your own time, coming into bigger movements, however you want to move. Opening the eyes if you've had them closed. And bringing the practice to a close. And let's just look at one another if we want to, or imagine one another. So we have been imagining one another, and then we get a chance to just look out, and maybe these little boxes look a little bit more human, little boxes of humanity. It's amazing, isn't it, really? We all are on these different places, and yet we're also very, very alike. Good. Okay. So if people want to stay on, to have a little bit of feedback how you found that, by all means do so. That's always really nice. Or you slip away, which is also completely fine. And just to say that Mark's put in the chat box the donation button if you have appreciated this practice and you'd like to make a donation to help us keep all these practices and so on free, then we'd really appreciate that. So that's the link. Good. So I'll read out some of these comments. So Jean, thank you so much for being there and for the tenderness theme tonight. I'm visiting St James Hospital, Leeds, as my 29-year-old daughter has been diagnosed with pneumonia. I've got to return to her ward now, but I will catch up with tonight's session later on YouTube. It's been wonderful to touch base. Thinking of you all and wishing you well. Gosh, okay, so thinking of Jean. Deborah, so nice and soothing. And then other thank yous. And then someone else, thank you so much. Felt a bit of tingling and heat, maybe a molecular state. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? This body that, we think is just a solid lump, but there's so much movement in there. Jeff and Von, thanks Vidyamala for being with us tonight in spite of not feeling your best. Yeah, well, I feel better for it, so I knew I would. Joe, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Sarah, tonight I had a choice. Do some work for school or put time aside to join you all. I'm so pleased that I made the second choice. How half an hour can make such a difference. Wonderful. And probably now, if you go off to do your work for school, you'll be a bit more productive if you're anything like me. Sometimes we just need to take time out and then we go back and we're more effective. Louise, I started the practice with really cold feet and now they are toasty. Lovely to spend time with everyone tonight and send warm feelings to each other. That's amazing, isn't it? How your feet warmed up. Presumably to do with what you did with your mind rather than the fact that you had them on a heating pad or something. I can see you laughing. And Lynn, thank you, Vidyamala. Hoping you have a better day tomorrow. Catherine, sending all well wishes to the 101 hearts here tonight. That's nice. Isabel, many thanks for this evening. Kind wishes to you all. And Lisa, thank you so much. And Pete, thank you. I really enjoyed the soothing of tonight's practice and the connecting with others via meditation. And someone else, thank you for the opportunity to be still, a soothing practice. Oh, that's Helen, from Helen, yeah. Meg, thank you so much. Feel so relaxed now after a stressful day. Well, thanks. And then Bronwyn, thank you so much for this precious time together. Wishing you a restorative evening. Vidyamala, I hope that you feel better soon. Catherine, thank you. Feeling grounded, connected, and grateful. And Odette, thank you for leading us with your grace, Vidyamala. Yes, tenderness was there for me. I find tenderness such a beautiful word. It's just that quality of tenderness is such a great thing to have in the world. And Hope, thank you from me. Do you have private sessions? You could email me about that. It's on vidyamala@breathworks.co.uk. And Sheila, my first visit here, so lovely. See you next week and many more times too. Thank you. Oh, special welcome to you, Sheila. Gosh, what's happened us all? Here we are. Sarah, thank you for the calming practice. Sorry to hear you've been feeling poorly today. And Elena, always nourishing. Thank you all very much. I was quite anxious due to autoimmune disease flare-up, but was able to comfort walk and stay grounded. That's good to hear. Angela, thank you, Vidyamala, and all. Feel much better now, even though the pain doesn't go. Even though the pain doesn't go away, it is at the back of my mind. Being still is beautiful. And so Louisa's coming back to her feet warming up. She said, the big blanket is wrapped around my body, so assume it's the meditation that made the feet warm. And Yohura, thank you for today, Vidyamala. I wish everyone well. Johanna, my feelings were churned up after an interaction and the ocean image was helpful. Calmer waters now. Yeah, I think I sometimes find that if I've got strong emotions, imagining it's in a great big ocean is very helpful. Karen, feel less restless and frazzled, had a sense of being able to look at that rather than from it towards the end of the practice. Thank you. Maureen, that was blissful, and I realize I enjoy meditation best when I'm lying down, away from any distractions. Love the word yielding. Thank you so much, Vidyamala, a real gift. And Anjali, thank you, much needed. Hope everyone has a good evening. And Catherine, I had a sudden moment tonight when you asked us to send compassion to our friend, when I had a sense of trying too hard. I have realized I subtly and physically force my breath when asked to do things. I let go and stop trying and let my body do the work. It was an amazing feeling, like melting. I think I've turned a deep corner here. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, very, very good. I think we often do. I think many of us, we're just over effort all the time, and learning how to back off a little bit can be, as you're saying, a deep turning a deep corner. I let go and stop trying and let my body do the work. Brilliant. Okay, good. So thank you all very, very much. And if you want to unmute to say goodbye to one another, then by all means do so.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Louise.